This is your host Houssain Blabez,
and Bettina Gottschalk.
and this is Pod on the Way. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the very first episode of Pod on the Way. Here we're gonna share with you our thoughts, experiences, impressions, and for the most, our journey
And our encounters
through Africa. So stay tuned, and here we go.
So, first of all, we start with Morocco.
How are you?
Good.
All is good?
Good.
You still feel sick?
No.
You feel better?
Actually, I feel better, but a little bit under the weather, I would
Okay.
say. But it's going there. You?
Okay. Well, so today is better than yesterday, but
Yeah.
you know.
No, since you took the medication now, it should.
I'm full of fart, but in general, I'm okay.
Guys, I will die tonight.
So yeah, the journey started back in Morocco. We are now in Togo. We're making this episode from Togo, actually.
Yes.
And the journey started in Morocco, and that's gonna be our first episode about Morocco. Bettina, she's not Moroccan. I am Moroccan.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's obvious now that.
I don't know, you know, in Africa it's quite, if you're watching us from Africa, maybe you would notice the difference. But in Morocco, you would think she's not Moroccan. I'm the Moroccan one, so
But
it's
in
fine.
Africa, I think everyone thinks he's European, he's not African.
Yeah.
So
It's a big topic. We can talk about it later on once we reach the West African countries.
Yes.
But yeah, Morocco for me is my home country. What is it for you?
Well, I would say it is a second home in the
Okay.
meantime. Well, I cannot say like when we talk about the traveling now that everything is like a surprise in like the other countries because I already have been there. But I remember very well when I came the first time to Morocco, I was actually quite scared, to be honest. Because people like told me, yeah, it's a very Arab country. It's very like strict Muslims, and you have to be careful. And so I was very worried. I remember before I took the flight to Morocco, I couldn't even sleep the night because it really bothered me. And I was traveling already in Africa, so I knew the area, but this was like very different.
Okay.
But when I came, it's like, okay, that's really not how it is told
In the
to
country,
be,
yeah.
You know,
The stereotypes are
So-
very unfair to everyone, and
Yeah.
especially to countries in general.
so I was very surprised, you know, especially Marrakesh. Come on, it's a very touristic city.
And Bettina, she came her first time to Morocco in the peak of the touristic season. And Morocco was pushing a lot of money into the tourism sector back then. So she came, and Morocco was like exploding with tourists. And I think
Yeah.
you had to run your way through the Medina every time you go outside from
Actually,
the
every
hostel.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
You have
But-
to prepare yourself to run through it because there are so many.
But that was your experience as a traveler before.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
However-
like now, it's very different because I stayed with you already a long time in Morocco. We lived together in Morocco. We lived together in Marrakesh. So I
You have a
already
different
know
understanding.
the culture. I know the people. I understand. I see the differences and stuff. So it's not like something new when I travel in Morocco because I know already how is it going. These
Yeah.
things.
And as you said, it's your second home now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, my follow-up question would be, because I mean this episode will definitely be about the two of us, but the beginning of it, why I ask these questions, because you are the foreigner here, you know, and when I talk about Morocco, it's gonna be a little bit unfair from my side because it's my home country, it's where
Yeah,
my parents are,
exactly.
where you know my whole life was, so it would be unfair to talk about Morocco in ways. And my follow-up question, because you lived in Morocco, you traveled in Morocco as you know with backpack, and you know you lived for quite some time in Morocco. You understand the culture. How was it for you overland in Morocco? Because we spent
Actually,
one.
I find it very easy going.
Okay.
Like Morocco is very, very much prepared for tourists. It's very much prepared actually for overlanders.
Okay.
There are so many camps where you can stay. The camps, they are like, wow, you know, some camps are
Prepared.
very good. Like you don't pay a lot of money, you know. Like sometimes you pay €5 and you have a camp and it has like everything, you know. You can even wash your laundry. You have a tea house. You have cabinets. Like, seriously, everything. They even bring you a table with a carpet and chairs, you know. So they really give you a really good service and a lot of hospitality. And that's also the reason why there are so many overlanders nowadays. I think especially after Corona and through this, all the border closure, it was like a hype which is involved now, which is overlanding, because people, they couldn't travel far, so they started to overland in Europe. And when the borders start opening, it is more interesting to go to Morocco, because Morocco is Africa. So it's a very different culture.
It's a short trip, but you are still in a comfortable zone.
Exactly. So for the European people, it's very good to travel like on holidays to Morocco. They can do it very quick with the ferry, and then they come back. It's like something you can do in a few weeks. You don't need
some
like
people
months.
do it in like 1 week or 2 weeks, and that's it. Yeah.
So, and Morocco is prepared for this, and I mean, I don't feel like there is a lot of difficulties.
Cool.
Yeah.
For me personally, Morocco is home. You know this, and overlanding in Morocco was not tough at all. And I think we experienced Morocco differently than what overlanders would experience.
Yeah.
Because we know the culture, we grew up with the culture. I grew up with the culture, so I was not that interested, to see things. I wanted to have the solitude, so mostly we searched for nice, spots to. We were not searching for people in Morocco. We were searching for space from people, actually, because it's been, a heck of 2 years working the whole time and all these things. I didn't want to have any more people, and it was fun. It was fun, actually. And at the end, Morocco was for me really this test version, this beta version. Yeah,
you always talk about it.
Yeah,
like
where we tested a lot of things, where we had to get rid of a lot of things, understand a lot of things in the car and in the setup. So that would be Morocco for me, in general, And overlanding in the country was very nice, because you would never feel like you can be isolated, because there's always a way, especially because it's your home, and you can talk to people and you can manage always.
Yeah, and also with the supplies, to be honest, you have the possibility to get water everywhere, because they have most of the time wells or taps and stuff. So there is no problem with the supplies. In this case, also with food, there's a lot of vegetables, no problem. Supermarkets. It's really, it's very easy when it comes to this. The streets are also good,
Yeah, in general.
If you want to go off-road, you can go off-road. It's also not a problem. Yeah, just the small streets, which maybe they could have problems here and there, but in general, no. The thing is also, it's not difficult to find wild camping spots.
Yeah,
also,
it's so easy.
It's very easy. The only problem where we had a little bit of difficulties was more in the south. When it
the
goes
Western Sahara part.
to the direction of the Western Sahara, especially on the beach side, because they're
just on the beach side, actually. Just on the beach side, you're not allowed to camp mainly.
Because of the military posts.
Because there is military posts every 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, because there is a lot of tries to of illegal immigration.
I think it's not so much because of the conflict.
It's just illegal immigration. So they don't allow people to sleep next to the beach, because they take the boats from there to Las Palmas. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
But in general, it's fine.
Yeah, and also, no, I lost it now.
It's all right. My follow-up question. Well, I don't wish to ask questions the whole time. I'm waiting for you to be the interviewer here, also. But my follow-up question to this is, we started our journey in a very difficult time in Morocco. What was that for you? Which time was it?
What do you mean, like the weather?
Yeah, because Bettina, just a backup story. she has a bit of a fight with cold in general because she's from a cold country.
Yeah.
She doesn't prefer cold. She prefers sun. She prefers summer.
exactly.
I'm the opposite way. So
So you enjoyed that?
it's okay. It was okay. It was fun.
okay.
It was fun.
Okay.
But she enjoys more the heat, not the heat, but
The
summer.
heat, just normal weather.
Normal summer weather like this, and then quick winter. And we started driving in a very bad wind, snow, rainstorm in Morocco, and it was not easy at all when we think about it. So how was it for you? This almost, I think, 2 weeks we did with just really cold temperatures and rain and wind.
Yeah, well, this was really quite a struggle for us because we were kind of running from the weather. I mean, thank God in Morocco, the thing is, it's in the night cold, but in daytime it's hot. But we saw also other overlanders. Always what happens is like when you meet them and you're in a camp spot with a lot, the moment the sun goes down, everyone goes inside the car because it's just so cold.
Yeah.
And you don't
We
want
are
to
just mainly
stay,
in Garamiguara, you remember?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the moment where I
Garamiguara
was
in
talking
the
about.
southeast of Morocco. We were with the other overlanders. We were talking.
It's a white camping spot,
Wild
actually.
camping spot. And we met some German people there and talking and stuff. The moment the sun actually went down,
Everyone
they were
goes
planning to
inside.
make a wood fire and stuff. It just nobody wants to be outside
No.
anymore.
No,
Yeah.
it's very cold. It was even that cold that once I remember very well, we were sleeping in the tent, and in the next morning when we woke up, I just felt like drip drops, and I was like, "Where is this water coming from?" And then I opened my eyes and I check, and the whole tent is frozen from the inside. But because the sun came up and it's getting hot, it starts to melt and everything gets
I
wet.
remember this very well. It was in Bulman that's and it was very cold. It was we slept at -3 or -4
Yes.
in the tent up there, and it was not easy at all
No.
that night. It was not the coldest night because we had the coldest night in Zakia's house.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
there it was.
It was the
very
coldest
cold.
night there. The area is just it's in Taliwi to be exact.
Yeah, but there's snow also
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
and it's like really the kind of cold that goes through your bones.
Yeah.
So in general, to overland in Morocco, what can we give as a tip is that the best time is to overland is for me personally is start in February. To be honest, for me, I know that most of overlanders.
February until when?
Well, end
Because
of
in
April.
summer it's
End
too
of
hot,
April,
no?
yeah, May, April is
And
fun.
starting that
Because
when?
because you can start in February in the Atlas Mountains, you can enjoy the snow, you can enjoy a little bit the coldness, and then from there drive down to the coastline. And in April, the coastline is just, you have a perfect temperature. You can go for a dip, you can do kite surfing, you can do surfing, you can do a lot of things, and still the temperature of the water is very nice to swim at, And it's a nice time because there is not much tourist yet in the coastline because Moroccans goes in summer. The
Yeah.
Moroccans, they go in summer to the coastline. So yeah, the perfect time would be for me starting February because you would see different types of beauty in Morocco.
But until
Until
June, end of
no,
June,
until
no?
May.
May.
You wouldn't go to
Okay.
June. No, June I wouldn't suggest because it's gonna be a little bit warm then. And I know that a lot of overlanders they travel in Morocco around starting November. They go in October, November, and then December. It's a good time, but it's just dry, because you're just
yeah.
out of the dry season. If you're looking for this desert feel, like it's nice, but you would never enjoy the Atlas Mountains as mighty as they can be in February, and then with all the snow and the beautiful landscape and the greenery surrounding them. That's the best time for me to be in the mountains. It's after February when the snow is done, falling.
But there you still have to pack.
You have to pack for the
sleeping
cold.
bag.
Yes, definitely.
Because it will be still cold. in the
Definitely.
night.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. But what was for you like the challenge what we had now in our journey? What would you say?
In Morocco, you mean?
Yes, in Morocco. What are like things where you say, okay, this was challenging, or this was something what I still had to learn, or this is something I did wrong?
Well, what I would say that because it was our beta version, I would say I wish we did give it longer time, I wish we had like 3 or 4 months of a beta version in Morocco as an example. 1 month traveling, and then you go back to work, and then you travel another month, and you go back to work, and you would understand more, because even though the 1 month we didn't understand everything in the car, and if you do like for a longer time being in the car, you understand more the challenges that you might face, and you can fix them, and you can be prepared for them in other countries where it's not your comfortable zone. You know.
Well, what other people would not.
So the challenge mainly for me in Morocco, for me in Morocco, was that it was quite a short time period, because the country is quite big, you know.
Yeah, actually.
And we wanted to visit a lot of parts of Morocco, so we did enjoy some parts, but we didn't stay long where we should stay long. So the challenge was really the cold weather that pushed us away, and mainly the wind. Because that was the biggest issue, because we could never sleep in the tent.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
It was 50, 60, 70 kilometers per hour, and it's quite too much.
Like in Morocco, we almost never slept in the tent, because either it was too cold and the car has at least a little bit of isolation, or it was just too windy. Yeah. But maybe what also would be interesting, I mean, you are from Morocco and we started in Morocco, but maybe it would be interesting for other travelers, like when they enter, do they like need a visa?
So I know your question here about the requirements of traveling in Morocco. Well, the requirements are quite simple and easy. I think you know that Morocco is making things, especially for European people and people from the US and Canada and stuff like this, to come and travel in Morocco in general. So to travel to Morocco, it's quite straightforward. You know, you arrive either from Spain or from Italy or from France. So you can choose you can choose one of these destinations. You can take the ferry. The cheapest one is from Spain, and it's just 30 minutes. The one of the nicest one is also from France. I think it's from Marseille, and from there it takes, I think, 2 days to arrive to Morocco, or 1 day and a half. And it's a beautiful thing, because you cross the Mediterranean, you know, and it's a nice thing to do. However, you arrive, when you arrive to Morocco, they just make a small paper for your vehicle, you know, that is registered, and that's
it. You have to pay for it?
You don't have to pay anything for it, and the Diwan. And for the passport from all the European passport holder, it's visa free. So you arrive, you stamp your passport, you have 3 months, and that's it. And
what about US?
All same. Europe, USA, Canada, and
South America?
I think 90% of the world is allowed to enter to Morocco. Just some African countries, some countries in Asia, and some countries that were not good with when it comes to diplomatic relationships in South America. But in general, it's fine. You can enter visa-free, 3 months, so you don't have to pay anything for that. However, the only downside about Morocco is that you have to buy insurance, because your European insurance, I think it's not valid in Morocco.
It depends on the company.
It depends on, you
have to check on it. You have to check on it, because I know that some they have it and some they don't have it, or it's a package, you know.
Yeah, but when you have a foreigner vehicle in Morocco, the insurance actually is quite expensive, because I think it's 100 euros per month. And it's quite expensive. Then, you know, I think most of the vehicles like Overlanders and stuff, that's how much you pay. It's 100 euros.
100? You make it in Morocco then?
You make it in Morocco, 100 euros per month. That's how much.
Expensive.
But if you have your insurance from Europe and it's covering, because Morocco insurance, I can just pay a little bit extra, and it's valid in Europe, and it's the same thing because we have this contract.
But how is it not that the car can even stay 6 months?
The car can stay actually up to 1 year in the country, but preferably 6 months, and then you leave and you come back. But you can stay with the car up to 1 year in Morocco with your you know, without any problems. And how old, you know, doesn't matter how old the car is and stuff.
Okay.
I have a follow-up question to you, and it's an easy one.
Okay.
Which is your favorite area where we stayed in Morocco? Like, it can be an area, it can be a campsite, it can be whatever. The one you say, oh, I wish I can come back here, or you would recommend it to the people?
I cannot say the names. So I first
just
of all
tell me
have
the place
to explain
and they can
where is it, and you have to tell it. I really did like the area where we found the cave and the palm trees.
Oh, okay. Okay, in Agadir region.
Yeah, this one. because the road was very beautiful.
Okay.
It's very much in the mountains.
And it's not touristy at all.
It's not touristy. There is a waterfall, but it was always dried out when we went there.
Yeah,
which
twice.
Was twice. There's a small cave.
The place name is Emin Widder.
Then we didn't go there, but there is also this oasis, not far from Agadir, and they have like they're like the nut flowers in the mountain, and it was very nice. I liked it there. Obviously, I also do like the desert. I liked the place where we stayed, to the stairs to heaven.
Yeah, next to the stairs to heaven.
Yeah, I
Okay,
like this
beautiful.
place, especially because it's very quiet there, and
Like
there
you
is
hear
really
nothing.
no one. And I remember one night it was very much so bright from the moon that it was like daytime.
Yeah.
So it was very like mystical in ways. And we saw even comets,
Yeah, big one.
which was like wow. It was very cool. And I mean,
And
this
this area
area
is
is also
known-
this Gara.
No, the area there in general, this southeast Morocco is known for the falling stuff from space.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stones falling every time. It's a
So
normal
this-
thing there.
This
you know?
was really cool.
Yeah.
I also did like the desert area in general. I think when you go, we couldn't go this time, unfortunately, but I mean, we went before to the desert. I like it. With the
I think
coast
when we
houses.
go back
There
to
are
Morocco,
very
we'll
much
travel
a lot
more.
of places which are very beautiful, you know.
It's unfair for us to
It's
say.
quite difficult to
Yeah.
say, okay, this or that. Also, I think it depends on the situation, you know. Like, as example, if you have struggle because there is a lot of rain, how you can enjoy the place.
Mhm.
But usually, maybe in another time, you would love this place.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Yeah.
so I find it quite
Zagora
difficult.
is also beautiful.
Yeah, Zagora is
Yeah.
also very beautiful. They have nice camps there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's the places I would say they're very nice.
Okay. For me, I can't be fair about this, but I enjoyed a lot being in the White Dune spot.
The White Dune.
Yeah, I enjoyed because it was my first time being there.
There's an ant there.
So it was my first time being there, so it was nice in Dakhla
And we
region.
stayed long there also.
Yeah, we stayed quite long, and it was beautiful.
And
It
it's
was
nice
beautiful.
with the flamingos and things.
Yeah, the sunset, the water, it's a beautiful spot. You know, it's a beautiful spot. I think we did cover up most of the things that we should cover about Morocco today.
Yeah, but maybe
We can't cover everything because we as I told you, this is a beta episode, and we want just to put this out there and to start this podcast. But I'm sure that when it comes to the episodes about the other countries that we have been to, it's gonna be way more interesting because there we were the overlanders.
Yeah,
In Morocco, we were just traveling around
Yeah.
and having fun in the country. And we will show you some footage here and there about the country. But one thing to keep in mind is that when you come to Morocco as an overlander, don't be surprised that it's jam-packed with other overlanders. You know, it's really, sometimes you wouldn't find your spot because there's a lot of people around, especially in the high season. There's a lot of overlanders everywhere, big trucks, small trucks, vans everywhere. So don't be surprised about that. And
which also can be cool.
yeah, actually, because you can connect with other people
Yeah.
and things like that. And one last advice I can give is that traveling to Morocco, don't expect to have this African stereotype, experience, because it's very different. North Africa is very different. The moment you cross to Senegal, it's a different world, and up in the north of Africa, it's a different
Yeah,
world.
North Africa is not comparable
No.
to the rest of Africa.
Mm.
So, but it's quite different to Europe, obviously.
It's different to Europe, but don't expect this safari and this wild animals and all these things that you might think about Africa, because in Morocco, in North Africa in general, it's very different style, different lifestyle, different experiences.
Yep.
Yeah. What would you say as a final word?
Well, I think it's also, especially when you're a person who just started overlanding.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe you already overlanded in Europe and stuff, but I think actually that Morocco is really like it's a good tryout. It's a very good tryout if you want to explore a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but you still want to be close and you don't want to miss out on many things, like you don't want to have a lot of struggle. So I think in this way, Morocco is very advisable and easy to travel, and you can travel together with others, and yeah, especially going through the desert. And it's just beautiful, and I know that the people there really appreciate the hospitality of the Moroccans.
Perfect. One last question I have just to close the podcast is, what would be your advice to people who want to start, overlanding and traveling around? Because there is a false image about this in ways because of social media. This weekend trip.
Okay, I know where you're going, what you want to say.
Just speak up a little bit close.
So basically, what Houssain, I think, where he wants to go is
just
that
innocent question.
like overlanding is really not holidays. Overlanding is an adventure. Overlanding is challenging yourself. Overlanding is really pushing yourself sometimes to the limits, because it's not just driving around and going from one hotel to another. It's really that you sometimes have coldness, bad weather, and you have to sleep in the car. I mean, it's not always easy. Or you have struggled with the car and these things. And
overlanding is not a weekend trip. That's how it. If you're planning to do this a weekend trip, stuff, we would suggest always, it's you can do it in your on your own terms, but just don't mix this up with overlanding or with a longer time expedition when you are full time living like we live now, out in nature, out in other countries, out in your out of your comfort zone, to be more exact. So that would be my advice. And Pod on the Way is just a way for us to share what we encounters, and it's a way for us to just record every single experience we had and make it like a journal, but a video journal in ways, telling everything that we have been through in these countries. I mean, not everything, but telling the story of to you who would like to maybe travel to one of these countries by a vehicle.
And if you have any questions, or maybe you have something what you want to add, please do so in the comments. We will gladly answer. And or maybe some questions what you have for the next following Pod on the Way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're happy to answer, and that's from us.
That was a beautiful one, and thank you so much for listening to us, and thank you so much for watching us. I don't know if you're listening or watching, but whatever you're doing now, thank you for being with us, and see you in the next first episode of Pod on the Way.
Bye bye.
Tschüss. Slama.